This is Sam Richter, and I want to spend a little time with you today to go through the Insurance Agent Intel Engine. Before we dive in, let me tell you what the engine is and what it's not. Let's start with what it's not. The engine is not some super secret database where I'm scraping information off the internet. Rather, for those of you who've attended my CAPI program, you know that what I teach is Boolean logic, how to find information via sales intelligence in ways that 99% of the planet have no clue how to do, and then effectively leverage that information to find the right leads, the right prospects, at the right time with the right message. How do we make sure that we're relevant to what our prospects, our clients care about before we walk in the room, before we fire up a Zoom call, before we send an email or even a social media connection, make a phone call? So the Intel Engine is really designed to kind of sit on top of search engines and automate what I teach. Remember, what I taught us is Boolean logic, the mathematical equations you put in Google. Now, here's what's really cool about the new Insurance Agent Intel Engine that none of you have seen before. It's really running in the background, so you won't see it now either, but let me explain what's going on. In Google, you're only allowed to type in or enter in about 30 words, so a 30-word Boolean equation. And in other search engines like LinkedIn, it could be 8 to 10. One of the codes I've cracked is how to craft really an infinite number of Boolean queries inside of search. So what you're about to see, some of the searches might have 500 words in them. So for example, I'm going to show you search for people by function. That alone, that one area, you won't be able to tell. But in the background, I'm running almost 600 simultaneous LinkedIn searches. So what might take you 3 seconds in the Insurance Agent Intel Engine would literally take you more than 4 hours if you tried to do it on your own. So let's dive in and I'll give you a quick tour. Now, admittedly, there's a lot inside the Agent Engine. And what I would recommend is when you have questions, reach out to me. But let me give you that quick overview so you can see what it's all about. So it's really designed for commercial agents along with personal lines as well. Let me show you. We've got the area called meeting preparation. This is really designed, as the section says, use this a couple of minutes prior to a meeting. Some powerful business people search areas, personal people search areas, company research, sales triggers. We'll dive into all these in a little bit. Additional search resources, and some intel resources. So let me hit the highlights for you in order. The 5-minute meeting prep area is designed, just as the section header says, to be used 5 minutes prior to a meeting. I actually use it about 2 minutes prior to a meeting, just to remind us what's going on in the other person's world. Who are they? Who am I talking to? What do they care about? So you go in, you type in the company name. Now I'm going to use a large company in many of our examples, just so you can kind of see all the different features. We can click and get the company website, map a location, get a company overview, which will give us results that allow us to see approximate number of employees, approximate revenue. Now this is pretty neat. The key executives, this is a good example of what I was talking about with those multiple searches. So I can click on executive leadership, and it's going to look at probably 40 different LinkedIn searches in the amount of time it took me to click from all results to executive leadership. Finance and operations executives, HR executives, sales executives, marketing, technology, and purchasing. What I've tried to do is separate this out into the different lines of business that you might care about. So for example, if you're selling cybersecurity, these would be your decision makers. If you're doing something related to company benefits, these might be your decision makers. I can also look at recent news, what's going on in their world that they care about. For larger companies, I'll just default right to press releases because, again, this is telling me what's going on in their world. And also even any current job openings. Now, why I like this, I'm probably not going to do this every time prior to a meeting, but if I click on any one of these, for example, executive assistant, I can look at the full description, and sometimes it will tell me a little bit about the organization because a lot of people put information in their job profiles that they would not put on their website. So for example, I know that they use SAP, Workday, Concur Expense Reporting, MS Office, etc. Now news search just kind of expands recent news. Again, we'll use 3M, and I can click on Google News. So Google News is going to look at the larger publications, and again, I can go on extended news Same as we showed just a minute ago, general news, press releases, blog posts, social media posts, and videos. Again, what's going on in their world. Financial publications. Let's say you were to go to the local library in your community and say, hey, I'm interested in information on cyber insurance. Well, they don't give you 80 billion search results. The librarian doesn't say, here's 80 billion search results. That's Google. The librarian might say, here's 3 publications you ought to look at. So what I've done here is I've built our own library for financial insurance publications. So for example, instead of searching the entire web, we're going to search, I've indexed, if you will, the 70 financial insurance publications that we care about. Let's use that example, cyber insurance. And instead of getting a bunch of websites that want to sell us cyber insurance, I'm going to look at the publications that we trust. Insurance Newsnet, Insurance Business Mag, Business Insurance, Finance Yahoo, Captive Insurance. So the publications that we trust in the financial services, in the insurance industry. It's your own private library. Okay, the next area is people search by business. Let me quickly go through it. Search by title. Again, we'll use 3M. And it's really, search by seniority. So C-suite executives, presidents, partners, VPs. Now, why can this be beneficial? One of the things we talk about is the need to ask for introductions rather than referrals. So instead of asking your current customers, hi, do you know somebody that can use me? You might say, hey, I see that you know Joe Smith. Maybe Joe's in the same division at a company. How well do you know Joe? Oh, do you think Joe would be a good fit? Oh, Joe's got a great art collection. Yeah, wonderful. Could you do me the favor of an introduction? Statistically, 97% of your customers will make that introduction. So how do we do that? Again, in here, let's say you've got a client at 3M and they're in marketing. So I'm going to put marketing as part of the job title. Search by title. And you'd like to find VPs. Now, let's say Julie Jones is your client. Now you can say, hey, Julie, how well do you know Lori Altman? Could you do me the favor of an introduction? So that's an example of how you would use that. Search by function, very similar. Kind of just expands the function we saw earlier in the 5-minute prep area into all the different sorts of functions at an organization. Leadership, assistance, finance, operations, HR and recruiting, technology, product development, legal, purchasing. It allows you to quickly sort. And this is what I was talking about earlier. There's about 600 unique LinkedIn searches going on simultaneous here. So for example, under HR, most of you might go into LinkedIn and you type in human resources. Well, then you'd miss Jennifer because she's part of talent. You'd miss people that have the word HR in their job title, employee in their job title, benefit in their job title. This is searching all of those titles simultaneously in seconds. Power search, as the name implies. I'm going to use a quick example. So my daughter graduates from the University of Missouri in May of 2020, the height of COVID. And she wants to get into marketing and advertising in New York in the fashion industry. Good luck with that one, right? So she does what her advisor says, hey, send out a bunch of LinkedIn requests, see if you can get some informational interviews. And she sent out more than 100 and got the grand total of 0 responses. I said, honey, try this. So the concept here is when you know something about another person, when you have something in common, people are much more likely to take your call. I'll show you what Maddie did. She went in and we said, all right, they have to have the word marketing or advertising in the job title, in New York, in the fashion industry. Now, Maddie was a member of Zeta Tau Alpha. And so what we're looking for is people with marketing or advertising as part of their job title in New York in the fashion industry, and they have to have been a Zeta Tau Alpha sorority member. Now, Maddie can reach out to any one of these. And instead of saying, hi, I'm a college student looking for an informational interview, she says, hi, I'm a sister in your sorority. I'd love the opportunity to talk with you. Sent out 4, got 4 positive responses, landed a job. How could you use this? Lots of different ways. I'm a graduate of the University of Minnesota. I want to reach out to CEOs or chief executives or chief financial in Texas. So it could be Dallas, or maybe it's Houston, or maybe it's Austin. I'd really like healthcare, and I want to see if there's any University of Minnesota graduates. And I can get a list of the people who fit my needs. I can click on any one of these. Again, now when I reach out, I'm not some stranger, I'm a fellow alumnus. You might even say, I'm a Rotary member, and so can I find fellow Rotarians? Now, is this every Rotarian in Dallas, Houston, Austin who's got chief in their job title? No, but it's enough of them that will keep you busy for a while. So that's how you use the power search. Center of influence, same type of concept. It's better if you know the company name. Faegre is a law firm in Minneapolis. Search for centers of influence, C-suites there, accountants and attorneys. Or if I want to be even broader, probably people in Denver that have estate planning experience. These might be some folks that I might want to reach out to, accountants and attorneys who are specifically saying that their expertise is in estate planning. Determine contact info. So the Intel Engine is not a list building tool. If you need a list building tool, I'm actually building one. We can talk about that later. What this does is it helps you find the email naming conventions. So I'm meeting with David Olson. He works at BrandPoint. Email naming search 1. What is their email naming convention? First initial, last name at brandpoint.com. I can verify that. I can even see if that email's online somewhere, because sometimes when we find it online, we can even get a direct phone number. Now, if this doesn't work, we'll now go into option number 2 and click on either of these buttons. Again, we're looking for that email naming convention, and it looks like in general, it's going to be first initial, last name. Existing list finder, this just helps us find lists. Find me chambers in Los Angeles, Chamber of Commerce lists. Why do we like this? People ask me all the time, how do we find good leads? How do we find business owners? Well, I'm telling you, the assistant intern is not joining the local East Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce. It's the CEOs, the people you want to do business with. Business directories in Los Angeles. And you can even say, well, I'm looking for somebody with the word chief executive, maybe manufacturing in Los Angeles, chief executive. Let's see if there's any contacts and spreadsheets. This is not something you're going to do every day. You never know what's going to show up. There could be some pretty cool lists or contacts and documents. Like I said, you never know what's going to show up. Membership directories, personal details. Now, this doesn't work as well if your person's name is Joe Smith. It works pretty well if it's Joe Bafutnik. We'll use me as an example. So this is one where you've got to try different terms in here. So Sam Richter, Minnesota. And can we find my LinkedIn profile? Can we find my Facebook profile? And there I am. And can we find my Instagram profile? And there I am. Now, I can also type in a city name. There's a number of different ways we can get contact information. So there I am. So take this with a grain of salt. Some of the data is not accurate. Age is accurate. Address is accurate. 2 of those phone numbers are accurate. Previous addresses are accurate. Possible businesses are accurate. Now, this is pretty neat. Nonprofit contributions. Is it always going to be accurate? No, but these are about me. So you're going to use this information to ask a better question, not to assume, because again, there are probably other Sam Richters who have made nonprofit contributions and even U.S. political contributions. A dear friend of mine ran for governor of Arizona, so I made a contribution to her. That can be helpful, again, knowing what not to say. So this is a great feature for finding wealth in your community. We'll enter a city and we'll choose a state, and I can go in here and say, hey, I want to protect somebody's art, or I want to make sure they have the right liability insurance. So we're going to choose an expensive home, 5 to 10 million. And it's going to pull up a list of those homes. Now we're going to go grab this, the street address, go back into the system, paste that in here, and we're going to search a database that's pretty darn accurate because it's pulling its information from U.S. Postal Service and other databases, and we can see who that individual is. Address, email address, and phone number. Now we can reach out. Now, where this can also be helpful is, let's kind of reverse this. Let's say that Kenneth is already a client of yours. We talked earlier about asking for introductions versus referrals. I can go in here, assuming that Kenneth's $10 million home is not next to a $200,000 home. We're going to go find his neighbors. And now when we meet with Kenneth at our client meeting today, instead of asking for referrals, I can ask, hey, I see that you're neighbors with Jackson Sabes. I see that you're neighbors with David Duran. How well do you know them? Oh, David's got an art collection. Wonderful. Do you think he'd be a good fit for what I do? You do? Thank you. Could you do me the favor of an introduction? Again, 97% of your existing clients will make that introduction. You can learn about the home, get pictures, even get a satellite view of the neighborhood. Company search. I'm looking for companies in New York. Now, what I love about industry, most industry databases limit you to searching SIC codes or NAICS codes. Well, there's a lot of industries that don't have SIC codes or NAICS codes. For example, Internet of Things. That would be a SIC code of technology, but it's pretty popular. Internet of Things. So find me Internet of Things companies with between 51 and 200 employees, because these folks need errors and omissions insurance, cyber insurance. We're going to go in and we're going to say, here's the company name that we might care about. We'll go back up to search by title, and we can get the key executives at that organization. Here's who we need to reach out to. We can also go back into company search by revenue, 5 to 25 million. Pretty decent sized companies. They're certainly going to need some cyber insurance, board of directors insurance, errors and omissions insurance. We'll grab the name of the company. This time we'll search for people by function. We're going to get the names of some of the people we care about. Spencer Kramer, CEO. We'll go back into the system, determine contact information, email naming search. It looks like they use first initial, last name at ei3.com, SCRAMER at ei3.com. We can verify that, see if that's accurate. It looks like it is. And again, this isn't going to work most of the time, but it's worth trying. Let's see if his email address is online, and it is. There we go. Now you are going to love this next feature within the company search area of the Intel engine. You're going to love it because as an agent, I think you'll find it really helpful, but especially if you're a minority, a woman, a veteran. Remember, people like to do business with people who they trust, who they like. And I've not found any other search engine, search resource database on the planet that does what you're about to see. So all I've got to do in the company search area, I'll type in a city, and I'm going to click on the classified business search and watch what happens in just seconds. The veteran-owned businesses in Atlanta, the woman-owned businesses in Atlanta, the minority-owned businesses in Atlanta, disadvantaged-owned, hub-zone, even small businesses. Of course, I can add a term. We'll type in manufacturing. So find me classified businesses in manufacturing in Atlanta, veteran-owned, women-owned, minority-owned. It's a great way to laser focus your prospecting. Company details, again, probably not going to use this every day, but you can go, how big are they? How many employees do they have? If it's a nonprofit, it will actually pull up their full tax returns. Company social accounts, so we can follow them on social media, who their investors are, Better Business Bureau ratings, employee reviews, customer reviews, PPP loans, and even court cases. So you can really learn more about an organization. Now, company site search is pretty neat because for most companies, when we look at their website, we're looking at their marketing brochure. But for most companies, especially larger ones, they've got a whole series of web pages that you're not going to find off of their main website. They're there, but typically only vendors, suppliers, employees know about them. The Intel engine allows you to search for all of those. Let me give you an example. 3M, and I want to find, do they have anything on their website related to employee benefits? I can click here and search the website. I can get all of their results, but watch this. I can even click and find PDF files. So these are all PDF files. Glance inside your total rewards package at 3M, all PDF files, only sitting at 3M.com. Here's their employee agreement, health reimbursement agreement. It's crazy what you can find online when you know where and how to look. Sales trigger. What's a sales trigger? What's going on in the other person's world where they might want to hear from an agent today? These are recent disruption events. Why a CEO might want to take your call. A leadership change, funding activity, merger or acquisition, relocation, remodeling. All of these, they need new insurance when these activities occur. Instead of searching for a company, I'm going to search for an industry. Now let's choose Los Angeles. And I want to find, have there been any manufacturing companies in Los Angeles that are remodeling or expanding? They're going to need new insurance. Reach out and call them. Name of the company, Mullen Automotive. We'll go right back up, search by title. And David is the guy we need to speak with. This time I'm just going to type in a city, Miami, funding activity. When a company goes from having 12 million to having 150 million, we know that they're going to need some new insurance. Here's this company's raising 75 million, open store. Do you think they need to talk with you? Yes, they do. We'll be redundant again. Back up, search by function, paste in the company name. I can click on here, Darren, Jeremy, the people we care about. Another sales trigger is recent hires or promotions. For example, if I want to see if anybody's been promoted or hired at 3M, and we'll scroll down and we'll see that she was hired 4 months ago. Her insurance needs may have changed. Now, I can also do this by putting a word in the job title. CEO. In New York, find me CEOs in New York who have been hired or promoted in the past 1 to 4 months, and we know that their world has changed. As you can see, this gentleman was hired 3 months ago. He needs to speak with you because his insurance needs have changed. Insider stock sales and purchases. If you're doing any work with really wealthy people, hey, these are the people we would love to have as clients. And thinking of retirement. Some people say, Sam, just give me a list of people who are thinking of retirement, because that's what we call a money in motion activity. Something's going on where they're going to need new insurance, financial advice, whatever it might be. We're going to search for doctors in Denver. How do I know that they're thinking of retirement? Well, I can't read people's minds, but I know if they went to school somewhere around 1975, they're probably thinking about it. Now, is this every doctor in Denver who went to school in 1975? No. But there's a few good ones on here you might want to reach out and contact. Marketing ops. And we can find a podcaster, a blogger, be a guest author, speak at a conference, find a reporter, attend a conference. Let's say your area of expertise is in manufacturing. Find me some manufacturing conferences that I might want to attend this year. Get some contacts, network with people, maybe even have a booth. Industry reports. This is great if I'm looking for reports that I want to send to existing clients. I want to show them that I care. I'll choose past year. Now, whatever you put in here is putting the word in the title of the report. You'll have fewer results, but more relevant. Or over here, we can broaden it. You'll get more results, but a little bit less relevant. So let's say construction, and I want to get a trend report. Now, all of these are PDF files. I love PDF files because you can print them. You can put a Post-it note, stick it in an oversized envelope. I'm pretty sure in the history of the world, no one's ever deleted an oversized FedEx envelope. Or you can attach it to an email or even a LinkedIn message. We can get survey results, industry outlooks, and even other people's PowerPoint presentations. And if we wanted to expand that, we can even get documents online, construction, and search for documents. So the word construction is inside the document somewhere, but PDF files, Word documents, other people's PowerPoint presentations. So type in a competitor's name here, see if we can find their presentation at a conference, spreadsheets, text files, and uploads. And not something you're going to use all the time, but might be helpful. And then finally, we've got our Sales Intel Reference Guide. This is the step-by-step instruction manual of everything I shared with you during my training. What's nice about this is you can print it, you can download it, you can zoom in, of course. I like to read it online because all the examples I give where it's hyperlinked in blue, you can click and even see what I just did. So pretty cool. You can get the step-by-step instructions and even see how it works. The Digital Reputations ebook is in here as well. Again, print it, download it, share it with your team. Heck, even email it to some of your clients if you think they could benefit. And some sales scripts. Sales scripts, these are really designed if you've got information. The warm call telephone, email scripts, voicemail scripts. And from my friend Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter, he's got his own series of scripts as well. I wouldn't follow these scripts word by word, but use them as a template. Use them as an example of how you might reach out to people in your sales world. So that was the Agent Intel Engine. Reach out to me if you've got any questions. I know there's a lot in there, but hopefully today's tutorial will help you use it, help you find, again, those right leads at the right time with the right message, be relevant to what they care about. Again, Sam Richter, reach out. Look forward to helping you. Look forward to helping you massively grow your business. Thanks so much, CHUBB. Thanks so much, CAPI. Let's make this year your best year ever.